Hello and welcome back to the Game Collection podcast. I'm Matt, head up marketing here at TGC, and I'm joined once again by our social guru and fashionista extraordinaire, Jack. Jack, how are we doing?
Hello. I am good. I'm good. I've got coffee. I'm good. Life is good.
I also
Everything's
have coffee.
good. There it is. Yeah. I've got that, that like weird kind of buzzing feeling between my ears. So, yeah, it's good.
Lovely stuff. All of the fuel that we need to fire off an hour of game chat. But before we dive into such things, it's important that we drop a little disclaimer. Obviously, these thoughts are just our own. They're not representative of the full companies. And to illustrate this, I've once again prepared a little song. I'm just going to apologise up front to any Scottish listeners. It's impossible to sing even a parody of Biffy Clyro without probably slipping into some sort of accent. So I'm just going to apologise up front.
Maybe you should apologise to Simon Neil as well.
Simon Neil, if you're... Oh my God, just imagine if Simon Neil listened to our podcast.
I think we're a way off. Exactly. I think we're a way off. Yeah,
I don't even know
way off
Biffy
Clyro.
Does Simon Neil play video games? I don't know. Simon, if you're listening to this, you're definitely not listening to this. But if you are, if one day you ever find this, do you know what, collectors? Tag him. Tag Biffy Clyro in the comments if this resonates. Right. I need the piano note off of Mountains. Right, hang on.
Once again, just I have had no prior knowledge to this whatsoever. So I'm strapped in like the listeners.
Buckle up, boyo. Here we go. Just two lads talking about games, trading stories and some spicy takes. Let's have a lovely time on the Game Collection podcast. But these views we're sharing here, they're just the inside of our heads. They don't reflect the company's position. We're just two dickheads. Bum, 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 all these opinions from Jack and me, they don't reflect the company. All these opinions from Jack and me, they don't reflect TGC, so don't tear us apart. Overtakes you don't like, you must understand. It's not that deep, so publishers, please keep sending us your games and we'll all make bank. Anyway, there you go.
Yeah, you're right. You told me it was your best one yet, and I was going to be pleasantly surprised. That is factual information.
I saw you dance. I literally saw you dance.
It was vibes. I was really impressed with the way that this is what preparation does. The last two disclaimers, I think you've just chucked into like ChatGPT or whatever just before we started.
I did that once.
No.
And the others,
it wasn't a criticism. It wasn't a criticism. It was you performing well under pressure is what it was. But this is what preparation does, man. You've said this has been ready since like Monday and it showed. I had a wonderful time. And Biffy, if you're listening, they're not. I think they'd be pleasantly, I think you did them proud today.
Thanks, man. And thank you, Biffy. I've been pleasantly enjoying Futique. So yeah.
Shout out Simon Neil.
Right. Where do we go from there? Okay, so let's talk some video games. This week, Battlefield 6 is in fact, actually, by the time this goes out, Battlefield 6 will be out. So yeah, we thought in honor of DICE's big fat FPS, we'd talk about all things shooters on this week's show. And do you know what? Let's just dive straight into like fan flame wars. Dan Percy's come in with a blinder of a question to say, Team Battlefield or Team COD? Personally, I really miss Medal of Honor. Just set fire to everything.
You took the words right out of my mouth. See, we can all do musical disclaimers. Dan Percy, I love you. That is correct. for me, Medal of Honor. In truth, I can't say I've ever been like massively big on COD, but I will say that Medal of Honor for me as a kid growing up. My dad had it on the PS1, the first one, which we used to watch him play. That was great. And then having Frontline on PS2, and I shout about this fairly regularly on socials. Frontline is for me, it's one of the best games ever, man. Like it's a dream. It's absolutely, for its time, it was a remarkable game. And I mean, Omaha Beach, that first level, just, I think as I spoke to you earlier, it was like, for me, that was gaming peak. It was like, it's never, ever going to get any better than this. And then it did get obviously way better than this. But back then, it was just mind blowing. And yeah, Jimmy Parson, man, what a character. I love being James Parson. Like, and the locations in Frontline were just epic. Like Arnhem, Nijmegen Bridge, I think it was called. You had to blow up the bridge. That was insane. There was that like manor house that you kind of infiltrated. That was like one of my favorite levels like ever as a kid. I've not played it in years, don't get me wrong, but like, yeah. And then Rising Sun came out. I'm excited, can you tell? Rising Sun came out, obviously with Pearl Harbor at the start. And then the levels in that were, as I recall, the levels that there were less levels, but the levels were longer. Yeah. And yeah, I had that for Christmas, and I remember like not coming out of my bedroom Christmas. Like I ate lunch, and then family came over, and I saw no family. I was just like, yeah, I'm invested. So yeah, long story short, Medal of Honor all day, every day. I knew Medal of Honor is, just port them for me, put them on the Classics catalog, and watch me drool, or even better, remake or remaster, double pack, and just you may never see me again.
Oh, that'd be beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We were talking about like remakes and remasters last week, and just how a good remaster can it preserves the DNA and the structure and everything about that original game, but sort of just updates all the details to kind of reflect how you remember things in your mind, not necessarily how they were. And I think, like going back to any game, going back to most games of that sort of the PS2 GameCube era can be a little bit tough. But I think, I'd love to see a remaster of the first 3 games, to be honest, or like a remake of the first 3 games. I think that would be absolutely awesome. I noticed that you completely sidestepped the question, so I, Dan, am going to attempt to answer it. And much like you, Jack, I've never really been a huge COD fan. I did play a lot of Battlefield back in the day. I still think Battlefield 3 is probably the best in the series for me. Bad Company 2 was incredible as well, like really, really, really awesome. I spent a lot of time in Battlefield Vietnam. Weirdly, that had a great soundtrack. I also just liked, there aren't very many games that have taken on Vietnam as a conflict. But I thought, because you had Viet Cong out at that time, and you had Battlefield Vietnam, and I kind of appreciated both for different reasons. But I've always quite liked, I just always quite liked the scale of Battlefield. I think before COD went super, super popular, and they were very, very happy doing their own thing. It's like before EA felt the need that they had to copy COD, and Battlefield became more codified as the years went on. I just think that the unique offerings that Battlefield's had over the years, they're just great. It's possible to go too big. Like, I don't know if you ever played PlanetSide 2, which was just like, it was just, the conflict was too big, and you'd kind of spawn in, and literally hundreds of players against hundreds of other players, and you die instantly. Whereas I think Battlefield got the numbers right. Like 64 was a good number to have that sense of epic scale, but still be able to tell kind of small, personal, squad-based stories within it. So to be honest, gun to head, fitting, given we're doing an FPS episode, I've always actually been Team Halo, or at least I was, until Halo fell off, like everything does. Or until
all good things come to an end.
All good things come to an end, until Microsoft were idiots and just decided to boot Bungie out. It's real dumb, guys. Real. Real dumb move.
Mistakes were made.
I think we could fill an entire podcast episode just on the number of the number of ways Microsoft have fumbled the ball with studios. It's like BioWare back in the day, because Mass Effect 1 was only on Xbox originally. They should have bought BioWare. Instead, EA snapped them up. We got a great trilogy, and then that fell off too. So, what am I trying to say here? Halo rocks for me, but if it was Battlefield versus COD, I'd say Battlefield, and I genuinely think 6 looks mint. So
it does look great.
So yeah, I've also always liked the destruction. I think DICE are a really good studio for tech. Obviously, Frostbite's underpinned so much of what EA's done over the last decade or two. Yeah, those crazy Scandinavians know what they're up to.
It looks like a nice cocktail. It does.
Nice Molotov cocktail.
There it is. I was hoping you would chime in with that.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, buddy.
It's telepathic these days, honestly. Like, it's just, hey, we're having fun, right? We are having fun.
We're having fun.
We are.
Good. Thank you once again to all of you collectors who've done us an absolute solid this week and dropped questions across Twitter and across Facebook. We've got some absolute corkers here. Again, if we don't get to yours, don't panic. We are going to be doing a couple of Christmas specials, recording those in a couple of weeks when Jack's back over, and we can do it in person together, which is again very, very, very exciting. So we've got some questions in the bank for that, especially some of the broader ones. But yeah, thank you to everyone that came in with suggestions here, and we kick it off with Dorky Swimmer, who says, what was your first ever FPS game, and would you consider playing it again if possible?
Okay, so we had a conversation about this, and I seem to have completely blocked out that I had Doom on SNES until we talked about it, and I was like, oh my god, yeah. But then I remembered that I sucked at it so bad. Like I was
you just erased it from your memory because you were so bad.
I was only a kid, and I was so bad at Doom. But so obviously iconic, absolutely iconic game. But I just it didn't really wasn't at the forefront of my mind because I was just so bad at it. So when I play it again, hell yeah, I have played Doom again many times. It's immense. So yeah, short and sweet, Doom on SNES for me. But I think after that, I think we did speak about GoldenEye, but that was just, I think it's many people's first, or maybe the most iconic, which we will, I'm sure, unpack at some point on this podcast. But you can't talk about FPS games and not talk about GoldenEye. But yeah,
I think that's Doom, it, isn't it? Like Doom, between Doom and GoldenEye, that's kind of a lot of, I would imagine that's a lot of people's firsts in kind of this particular genre, right?
Icons, man, absolute icons for sure. So yeah, Doom. How about you?
I mean, that's an absolute classic, right? I think I'm interested to see if we get any diehard PC fans in the comments screaming sacrilege. But yeah, I think for me, because I didn't get a console until later. My first FPS was it was a game that riffed on Doom, because I mean, Doom's the granddaddy of the entire genre, really. I mean, Wolfenstein obviously, but Doom kind of popularized it. But I think we got a less bloody, more sci-fi FPS in Star Wars Dark Forces, which I think came out in 95, so a couple years after Doom. And I remember getting a demo disc of for Dark Forces in, I think it was PC Gamer. And it's the first level in that game is you breaking onto a Star Destroyer basically and stealing the Death Star plans. So yeah, this is before Disney got their hands on Star Wars. It's before Andor was a glint in Tony Gilroy's eye. It's shout out Andor, actually. What a series. But before all of that happened and Legends was still canon, Kyle Katarn sneaks in, bags the Death Star plans, gets out. Just amazing. I love that demo so much. And a couple of years later, my parents got me Dark Forces for my birthday, and yeah, fell in love all over again. And it's amazing. Like the level design is it's a bit derivative, but like the actual visuals, it sets it so much in the Star Wars universe. And for me at that time, that was a huge deal. It was like, oh my god, I've seen the films and now I'm playing through this game and it's here and the music's playing and John Williams is all up in my ears and there's a soldier and they had like a couple of voice lines in and one of them was just like, you know, you surprise an Imperial officer and he goes, "You rebel scum," and it's just the best. It's just the best.
Is there anything better than being called rebel scum? I don't think so.
One bit of detail that I really, really liked from Dark Forces was like, you know, the little mouse droids, you could shoot them and they would yield a little battery that could help your shields.
Wow.
That's really nice. Just
little touch.
Lovely. Little touch. There was a level as well, I think it's like level 3 or 4, where you wind up on like a garbage planet and you know the Dianoga, the tentacle monster that attempts to drown Luke on the Death Star.
Yes.
You get to battle a whole bunch of them, and
because one wasn't enough. Yeah. Like this. Yeah.
I hated that level. I absolutely hated that level.
We were talking, weren't we, earlier before the podcast about like frustrating. There's a good question coming up with regards to campaigns, but about frustrating levels in games, and just there's some games are like 9.5 out of 10 to you, but they don't get 10 because there's that one level which makes you want to pull your eyes out.
Well, this is the thing. And I think it was Night Dive that did a remaster of Dark Forces, and I remember going back and being like, oh my god, I can't. This is playable. This is awesome. Going back and playing it, and getting to that level and being like, oh, screw this.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Exactly that. So yeah. First was Dark Forces, and then the launch game for my first game for the N64 once I had that console was obviously GoldenEye. But I just remember just little GoldenEye memory. Just how cool, just small thing, how cool it felt to shoot the lock off the gate on the dam.
Oh man, little things that come back to you, right?
Just that little bang, pop.
I mean, this is not a little thing coming back to you. This is obviously a major feature, but the making all of the enemies' heads massive and then just you couldn't miss. It was amazing. Incredible. Glory days, man. Glory days. Like
wonderful stuff.
Yeah. I know it's not a first person shooter, but a game that has a really special place in my heart because we're talking about Star Wars is Shadows of the Empire. That for me on that's probably like easy top 5 for me games on N64. Easy. I played the hell out of that as a kid. Absolutely loved it. Like just immense. I don't think it's aged too well. No, a lot of things don't, unfortunately. But yeah, a real special place in my heart for that. What a game!
I love it. I love it because it just crams so many different genres into one game. It's just like it's the ultimate all-round adventure. Like, you want a bit of vehicular stuff? Yeah, that's in there. Space fighting? Yeah, that's in there. Combat, obviously. Yeah, that's a great shout. Fantastic. Speaking of which, so we've done first games. Tony Coffee, shout out Tony, has come in just asking the obvious question: what's your favorite FPS? And he's asked, am I allowed to call Metroid Prime my favorite FPS? I mean, you do shoot things in first person, and I gotta say, Tony, if the boot fits, yes, Metroid Prime is an FPS.
Yeah, I think when we had this back and forth on Twitter, myself and Tony, and he mentioned, he's like, Nintendo don't call it that though, and it's like, so what, man? First of all, you do you. It's an FPS, like. It is. You shoot things in first person. What more do you need? What more do you need? It's in the title. So yeah, I fully back that Metroid Prime is a first person shooter. But for me, my favorite, at the risk of being a broken record, but it's a great record. It's a great record. It's Time Splitters 2. We know this. I always talk about it. It's probably been mentioned in all previous episodes. I'm sorry. But yeah, Time Splitters 2 for me was just like way ahead of its time. Like it's just magical, like all around epic. I love the different difficulty modes as well, and how obviously some of the extra challenges and that you would do. Yeah, just bury me with Time Splitters 2. I'm happy.
I think when we talk about it's interesting. If we ever do a podcast on sequels, I'm sure it'll come up again. But like the greatest quality jumps. Can't talk. The best quality jumps from like an original game up to game name 2, right? And I think Assassin's Creed would be up there. The jump between Assassin's Creed 1 and Assassin's Creed 2, mind-blowing. Ezio trilogy, fantastic.
Yeah.
But I think genuinely as well, like Time Splitters 1 has got some good ideas in it, but Time Splitters 2 is seminal to me. I think.
Yeah.
I think it's just the jumping quality and design, and it's just mint.
It's I like when they both hit the classics catalog, and obviously on Future Perfect, the third one came as well. The playing the first one again, it's like remarkably close to just being like an arcade shooter. Like it's obviously it was of its time, and yeah, I love it. It's great, but as you say, the quality jump and the difference in level build, the difference in story, and just all around just brilliance from 1 to 2. That one should be studied. Really, it's immense.
I think when it hit the classics catalog, I speed ran 1 just so I could get to 2 as quickly as possible.
I did exactly the same. And
then you luxuriate in 2 like it's like a nice, delicious bath. You're just like,
as I've mentioned previously, some nights I'm playing Silent Hill 2 remake, and then like before I go to bed, I'll just chuck on Time Splitters 2 for 10 minutes. Just like it's almost like mind-numbingly beautiful just before bed to just kind of calm myself and just it's one of those games like it's comfort food.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And another topic for like a future podcast is like favorite comfort games. I think the games that you constantly just come back to. They might not necessarily always be the best games of all time, but the games that you come back to every single, like, whenever you've got a lull, which is never, because backlogs are enormous. But
yeah, I'd be honest with you.
Whenever you're fed up of trying to decide, it's just like, I spent 20 minutes looking at my game catalog. Right, screw this. I'm just going to play Time Splitters 2.
I had a really depressing thought earlier, and it was just like, there's games in my backlog, right, that like I am probably going to die before I play. It's just, and that kind of, I was like, oh wow, what a depressingly real thought though. It was just like, there's like, I'm so far behind. There's so much I want to play, and I'm basically I'm struggling, man. I don't know about you. You've got a little boy now. You are on borrowed time for yourself. So yeah, gaming is right now in this place as well. It's tough. It's in very, very minuscule bite-sized chunks of beauty. But I don't know what I'm saying. It's the coffee. Bite-sized chunks of beauty.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was.
I liked it too.
I quite like a bite-sized chunk of beauty, like a munchie.
Yeah,
like a little amuse-bouche.
Lovely. In the shape of Silent Hill 2.
In the shape of Time Splitters 2.
I'm lost for words. Yeah, I at the moment, like I said, I'm about I think about 10 or 11 hours into the Silent Hill 2 remake, and it's just mind-blowingly good. I finally got out of the hospital, which I actually thought that was never ever going to happen, and I was going to die there. So yeah, I was really glad to see the back of the hospital. As amazing as that whole segment is in the game, it was like, thank God that's over. But then you go back outside and you're like, oh, actually no, things are really bad out here too. Might have left the hospital, but you're back in the real world now, and it's all gone horribly wrong.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, yes. I'm trying to snatch pockets of, like, it's like an hour between, finishing up all of the stuff that you need to do as an adult in the evening, like dinner, washing up, laundry, chores, all that sort of stuff. And then
feed yourself,
And then a responsible time to go to bed just in case Max wakes up in the middle of the night and I lose an hour. So snatching time at the end of the day and trying to get that balance right is how I'm feeling that with Ghost of Yote at the minute.
Are you really? You haven't told me you were playing Yote. Is it good?
It's really good.
There's a surprise. Really I mean, everyone I'm speaking to on social is just like, yeah, epic.
Yeah.
Numerous people have said they've lost so much time just taking photos, just screenshotting everything.
Vistas. I love vistas in games. They're just, sometimes you're standing on a precipice looking out, the beautifulness. It's just like, virtual life is good.
Life is a lot simpler in there, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Then Max starts crying.
He's been very good lately. He's been very, very, very good lately, which is, he's a good little dude. Which FPS am I going to introduce him to when he's much older? Well, the quality bar is high, so I have many shouts for favorite FPS. And Time Splitters 2 would be up there as well. GoldenEye would be in the shout along with Perfect Dark. I suppose just for nostalgic reasons more than anything else. I suppose. Half-Life 2, I loved, but I'm going to come back to Half-Life 2 for one of the later questions, I think. And it's a toss-up, really, I think, for me, between, as an out-and-out shooter, Halo 3 is it's just brilliant. It's just absolutely brilliant. And the set pieces in that game are phenomenal. But I'm going to go with a game that it's not, from a game feel perspective, like from a shooter mechanics perspective, it's probably not the best. But from an all-round package in terms of like immersion and atmosphere and story and gameplay and everything, like design, BioShock is one of my favorite games of all time. And to be fair, like, I could go back to System Shock 2 as well, which in and of itself is just a phenomenal experience. But I think BioShock was one of the first times I looked at. I remember when it first came out, and we all crowded around the TV, me and my mates, just like looked at the water effects and went, "How? This is better looking than real water." Like, this is mental. But like everything about that game, like the atmosphere, Rapture itself, the philosophy within that, like Andrew Ryan and one of the greatest twists in video game history, the plasmid system and those powers that you could take on board, and then like I don't think there are many more iconic enemies than Big Daddies, and then their counterparts, the Little Sisters, and the moral dilemma of what do you do with the Little Sisters. And yeah, man, that game's so good. It's thought-provoking, it's adrenaline rushing, it's just incredible, and it's one of my favorite games of all time. So yeah, I think it's first person and you shoot things in it, just like Metroid,
just like Metroid Prime.
Just like Metroid Prime. I think, again, it doesn't have the best game feel from a pure shooter perspective, and so if we were judging it on that, I'd go with Halo 3 probably. But like, I think as an all-rounder first person shooter, BioShock, it's just it's chef's kiss.
There's many games out there where where there's little features, little mechanics or things you would change or they could improve to make it like that much better. But sometimes the overall deliverance of a game just like makes it stand out, regardless of little niggles here and there. Like it's just, they're almost forgotten about it. Like you will make that sacrifice for what that game gives you.
Absolutely. What I will say though is, and this is a complete tangent, but like flipping that, a consistently underrated game that people don't talk about enough, that managed to nail all of its little bits, Sleeping Dogs. You've got an open world game that doesn't outstay its welcome because it's like 15, 20 hours long. And because they had people that had worked on Need for Speed, the driving in an open world game was actually incredible. The combat is ridiculously good. And like the production quality is phenomenal. But like all of the little bits, the shooting, the melee, or like the martial arts combat, the driving so often is a rubbish thing in like driving's not great in GTA. It's just, sorry, Rockstar. It's not. It's not very good. In Sleeping Dogs, incredible. Why? Because we'll just hire people that know how to do this from the freaking Need for Speed team. Great. Just
do you ever play
brilliant.
True Crime Streets of LA?
It's
brought back some memories, man. Yeah, I had that on GameCube. epic.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, that's brought back some really warm memories. It's like, glorious. But yeah, Sleeping Dogs, like undeniable, like a fantastic. It did really well for us as well. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's What am I saying? I don't know. The caffeine is overtaking me. Buzzing and stuff.
Well, let's move on to.
You know those memes where it's like 5 coffees and no lunch, and it's just like a horse running through a living room. And that's where I'm at. Why did I have this before this? Like, what am I? Yeah.
I'm here for it. I'm loving the energy.
Yeah, it's not energy, man. It's manufactured. It's false.
It's pure petrol. It's pure diesel.
There will be a crash.
But before we have a crash, let's talk about favorite weapons. So TB's come in with a great question. Favorite weapon in an FPS? I've always been a fan of Turok 2's Cerebral Bore. What a shout that is.
Unreal. Like, Seeds of Evil, man. What a game to start. But I know I've spoken about it on previous podcasts, but for me, the rocket launcher with a camera on in Nightfire, in that multiplayer where you can just follow it around the map and then look for the person you want to kill is just, like, that was the first thing that came to mind. It was like, we're talking about, like, job done.
Nice.
Easiest question of the day.
There's a fly-by-wire rocket launcher. Is it called the Reaper or something like that in Perfect Dark as well? I think the aliens drop or something, and you can, again, you're just flying rockets around a level. It's brilliant. Love that. A couple of honorable mentions from me. The Magnum in Halo Combat Evolved was just the best pistol in any game ever. Apart from maybe the gold PP7 from GoldenEye. Because obviously you've got the golden gun, but it's like one bullet, and you've got to reload it constantly. And then I think you've got to beat Facility on like 00 agent difficulty in like a ridiculous time to unlock the gold PP7, and then you do it. It's just the best.
Speaking of frustrating levels, I hated that level.
It's so iconic. The beginning's so iconic, and you just
the beginning is great, and that is where it starts and ends. Goodbye. I mean, we were speaking earlier as well about Bunker as well with Natalia. And do you remember the mines that you could? I think it is Bunker, isn't it? I think when there's Boris, you can't kill Boris.
Bunker 2, I think.
Well, I remember throwing mines into a room and blowing Boris out of the door, and it was one of those things that, like, as something happens in a game when you're a kid and you just like, it's the best thing you've ever seen, and like you just came flying through the door, and it's one of those things I tried to just recreate over and over, but it happened. It's there now when I think of it. It's just this flying Boris.
I love that you could shoot all the TVs down in the main control room as well. But but that level sucks because like you're waiting, you're constantly just waiting for Natalia.
Mm-hmm. It's problematic.
Just move. Please. Yeah. NPCs, most annoying. At some point, we'll have to do a podcast on like best and worst NPCs. The scientists in the facility, Natalia in the bunker.
That's why I hate that level. Like, it's so easy to kill. Like, honestly, a mission failed. Like, lovely, wonderful news. I'm here to save you. Please.
Oh god, what would my favorite weapon be? I think so. Yeah, I mentioned Half-Life 2 before. I think I've got to give it to the gravity gun. I'd never seen anything like that, and just there's a level in Half-Life 2. I think it's the best level in the game, to be honest. It's called Ravenholm, and it's freaky as hell. You've got like these weird zombie monsters chasing you. You've got poison head crabs everywhere, and it's just you, gravity gun, and like some massive serrated circular saw blades, and you're just flinging them at these zombies, because obviously like anything loose in the level just becomes a weapon, and it's gravity gun's so great.
Some days I've never played any Half-Life, so
well, do you have a 360 still?
Not anymore. I did have a 360, which was the only time I've ever had an Xbox.
The orange box. The Orange, actually, in terms of like value for money, the Orange box might be one of the greatest compilations of games ever, because you had like Half-Life 2 in there. I think you had Counter-Strike Source, Team Fortress, and Portal. And it's just like, well, this is just quality out the wazoo. It's freaking awesome.
Value for money.
Shout out the Portal gun, actually, as well. Like, just Valve coming in with some of the best. You couldn't kill anyone with it, obviously, but like in terms of innovative first person, you're shooting holes in walls.
You've just made me think. I know you said Portal, but I've just thought about Postal 2. Which my friend
very key
lent to me in school, and I couldn't quite believe what he's just like, you're not ready for this. Like, honestly, he was like, his name's Rob. He's such a good guy. He's crazy, man. He's absolutely crazy. Like, he's just one of those guys. And he was like, you're not ready for this. You need to play this. And yeah, there was stuff in that game which I was just in no way prepared. I didn't believe it could be put into a video game. Like, it's wild, absolutely wild. But it was epic. I had a wonderful time.
You wouldn't have a wonderful time with the film.
Okay.
No need to watch any film by Uwe Boll. Just awful.
Okay.
Awful. Yeah.
There's no follow up. That's just a statement. Like, don't do it. Okay.
Don't watch any films by Uwe Boll. Although he will try and fight you, as he once tried to fight his film critics, and someone took him up on it, and literally had an amateur boxing match. And Germans are crazy. Anyway, so yeah, gravity gun from Half-Life 2 for me in terms of favorite weapons. We've got some more questions here. So Peter Clone, apologies if I've pronounced that wrong, by the way, Peter, really sorry, has said, what are some of the most creative and fun FPS campaigns? And he says, my shout is Singularity, and you get bonus points because Singularity mentioned. And I think I mentioned Singularity last podcast, or maybe the last
podcast. I think you did.
Yeah. Just a fantastic. Here's a best of compilation of all the best FPS mechanics from the last 10 years. It's a lovely little underrated shooter on the 360. So yeah, I guess most creative and fun FPS campaigns or FPS levels. We can break it down to that as well.
For me, this one, I had a little think, and Red Faction on PS2. Yes. The ability to just like blow holes and everything, like, just didn't really matter. I can just put a hole in that. That's fine. Yeah, but I remember it being like game changing for me as a young lad, and I was playing that because it was just like, where do I go? Oh, wherever I want to go. Like, it just felt like that. It was like, oh, there never really seemed to be a problem about finding the next area but it was just mad fun. Like, I need to play Red Faction again, but yeah. I just remember it being epic. Maybe it hasn't aged well, as we spoke about already. Like, not a lot of stuff ages well when it comes to these kinds of games, but I loved Red Faction on PS2.
Yeah, the destruction elements, the deformation. Red Faction's always been good for just wanton destruction.
I will say that makes it more surprising that I couldn't get on with Donkey Kong Bonanza. And I've had numerous conversations with people this week regarding that, because we put out a post yesterday on Twitter just asking, like, if the Game Awards were tomorrow, what would be your game of the year? And I didn't put Bonanza in the 4 because obviously you can only use 4 images on Twitter. But numerous people were like, Bonanza by far for me the best game I played this year. And I was like, I just couldn't. So maybe what's that? Is it Principal Skinner when he's like, maybe I'm out of touch. No, it's the children who are wrong.
No, it's the children who are wrong.
Maybe I'm out of touch, but maybe I am out of touch. Maybe it is, in fact, me. So I'm going to go back to Bonanza. I haven't put enough time in, and I'm going to destroy some more things, just absolutely like smash through the whole area, and see if my opinion changes.
Nice. I think it's in my top 3 from this year. It's not knocking Claire Obscure off that top spot, though. I don't know. I don't think there's a game, looking at the release slate, I don't think there's a game that's going to do that. Yote's given it a good go. But I think, like, Oh yeah, Clair Obscur is so refreshing, man, and so new in so many ways. Like, just, we're going to do a Game of the Year podcast down the line towards the end of the year. So I'll save it for then. I'll save my
I
gushing for then.
I I do feel that the only way Claire Obscur doesn't win is because Death Stranding 2 with the Kojima link and Jeff Keighley. Like I do. I mean, look. I've not played Death Stranding 2, so this is no shade to anybody that likes Death Stranding 2, because again, that was overwhelmingly a favorite as well in that comment thread. And like, I'll be the first to say, as I told those people online, that it looks incredible. Like, you can't look
Best
at
looking
that
game on the
game from
PS5.
what I have seen, and be like, that doesn't look amazing. It's glorious. It looks absolutely breathtaking. So I don't doubt for one second that it's a phenomenal game. I just feel like the romantic element with Sandfall being such a small team, and to have delivered what they did with that at their disposal, or with a lack of resource at their disposal, is what I'm trying to say, I guess. It would just be amazing to see that win. And again, I sit here also having not played Clair Obscur. So now you're asking, Jack, do you play games at all? Yes, I do. Mainly Time Splitters 2.
He just plays Time Splitters 2 on loop?
No, I just, and the odd hour of other games elsewhere. No, but those are two games that are in the backlog, which, as I mentioned earlier, I will die before I complete. But the overwhelming response to Clair Obscur online from our community tells me enough. And seeing you like basically almost cry when we were at Gamescom, when that live performance was happening at opening night live. Like, this game means something to a lot of people. The amount of people I've seen say like it's some of the best writing, the best story, the best music I have heard in a video game. Those are standout comments that I've seen repeatedly since it dropped. So yeah, I would love to see Clair Obscur win it. Bigger shocks though have happened in the past, and I also wouldn't be surprised if we're sat here saying Death Stranding 2 is Game of the Year. And jokes on us when Split Fiction wins it. It takes two crew. So yeah, it's been done before, but shout out Clair Obscur. I think the community overwhelmingly have said that that's what they hope is their Game of the Year.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. Like, it's rare that it's depressingly rare actually these days to be genuinely be that moved by something completely, by a new IP.
Well, was it you that said, or was it may have been yourself, or it may have been somebody on one of our social channels saying that it's the type of game that comes along like once a console generation, or once every couple of console generations. It kind of means that many people, which, I mean, it just doesn't get, the praise doesn't get any higher than that.
Yeah. Although Dark Horse, Samus might come back. Although, when are the Game Awards?
Nah, I don't think there's enough time for Metroid.
It's not enough time for Metroid.
Enough time for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. I mean, if that happens, I think that the window is far too small. Even with Samus's morph ball technique, she ain't getting through that window, man. Like, no, it's not happening.
I've lost track of where did we get to? Oh, we were talking. Okay, yes,
FPS.
FPS campaigns. Yes. We've mentioned a few great ones already. I've mentioned Ravenholm. We've mentioned Operation Overlord. We've mentioned
Medal of Honor.
We've mentioned Medal of Honor. We've mentioned a few. I think. Yeah. Again, I'm going back to for fun campaigns. It's Halo 3 for me. It's Halo 3. Just excusing. There are a couple of like flood-based levels where you're like stomping around Gravemine's bumhole, and it's just the flood levels are annoying, to be honest. But they're balanced out by like some of the most incredible set pieces I've ever played. And the level specifically, there are two levels I want to call out from the Halo series. One is Silent Cartographer from Halo 1, which is the first time you're plonked on an island, vast island, loads of alien ruins, and it's just like, off you go. And there's vehicles and like the combination of kind of like vehicular combat and on foot combat and the freedom that you felt at that point in time. There was nothing really like it at the time. And it's sort of been the blueprint for expansive first-person shooter level design in the years that followed. But the Covenant level from Halo 3 is just, you've got beach landings in that level. You've got warthogs galore. You've got space combat. You've got fighting alongside the Flood. You've got like this culmination where you're facing off against two enormous scarab tanks, and the game's just like, off you go. You know, how are you going to solve this? And you're the Master Chief, so you just bowl in there and do what you do, and it's just it's one of the most empowering. I don't know. The feeling of like power fantasy kind of fulfillment off the back of like finishing that level was Halo 3 is so epic. It's such a good game.
I actually think maybe this is a bold call that you talk about Halo 3 more than I talk about a Dino Crisis remake or a Getaway remake. I actually think like it. I think it's not telling you no, I'm calling it.
I don't know, because there's the thing is though, you got the receipts for Dino Crisis and the Getaway, because there's just there's a long thread history of tweets.
Don't look over there. Look over
that doesn't really exist. It doesn't really exist on the video channels I look after.
Don't look over there. Look over here.
But yeah, like the ending of that game as well. Just doing the run and the drums kick in. It's just, it's so great. It's just, why was the TV series so rubbish?
Again, not seen it, but the feedback that I've seen is overwhelmingly negative towards it.
It's diabolical how just diabolical how Microsoft continues to fumble the ball with their own IPs. Anyway,
is it worse? Is it worse than season 2 of The Last of Us?
I quite like season 2 of The Last of Us, but
never mind.
But I mean, it's deeply, deeply, deeply flawed. I don't like what they did with Ellie's character.
Yeah, I mean that in itself,
and that's no shade to Bella Ramsey at all. I think she's great. I think she's a great Ellie.
No,
but what the writing did to her character, and it undermines a lot of what I think Ellie's character, or I feel Ellie's character is and was in the actual Last of Us Part 2. So
it just feels like the brutality was toned down massively, and in way of making it more TV friendly, perhaps. I don't know. I don't know what the thinking was.
It doesn't make sense because it's like, you're on HBO. Go nuts.
Yeah, exactly. Have at it.
Have at it.
yeah. So I mean, I will say that that episode where obviously with Jackson, like that Game of Thrones-esque like scene was insane. Like that was incredible. But that's kind of where season 2 like started and ended for me.
Yeah.
I don't recall enjoying anything really after that.
Yeah, I wonder if my enjoyment of it was actually just more residual enjoyment from I was giving it more of the benefit of the doubt because I don't know, I have the games. We'll always have the games. Hopefully. But like, yeah, I wonder if I gave it a bit more of the benefit of the doubt because of that. But I did walk away from season 2 feeling just a little bit. I still watched
one just same, but season 1 just felt. Yeah, it just felt that the fall off for me, I think, was probably what made it more difficult to kind of stomach. It was the drop in the quality from the first to the second season. If the first season was bang average and kind of, it just kind of carried on into season 2, you'd be like, well, it is what it is. But the fall off between season 1 and season 2 should be studied, in my opinion.
I think it's going to be interesting because obviously they split it out. I respect that. You've kind of got to with something as big as Last of Us Part 2. I wonder if, and this again might be being too generous, I wonder if we'll feel differently once the whole thing is complete.
Maybe.
Because it's always difficult. Like you get halfway through a thing and you have to trust the process to a certain extent, right? I'm interested to see. They open themselves up quite severely with some of the choices that were made in season 2. But again, that's not to take away from any of the performers I think ultimately
I actually
they were a bit let down by the writing.
I love
Caitlin Dever, yeah,
Diva.
phenomenal.
She's a fantastic actress. And I mean, if you take into account that I think one of it may have been her mum passed away, I think shortly before filming of season 2, and so obviously a lot of criticism came around her appearance and how she wasn't bulked up like Abby, and like she's been training for this whole moment to just rain down fury. But like I just think she did a fantastic job. And I think she's a fantastic actress. Have you seen Dopesick by any chance?
Yes,
That made me I ugly cried to Dopesick, man.
Yeah.
That was like deeply upsetting. So yeah, like you say, the ingredients were there, and there was some fantastic performances. The writing just was so muddled, and but why did we have? I swear, I'm sorry to the community if you've tuned in for FPS and now we're pulling apart The Last of Us season 2. Why did we have like this that whole part where we're learning about how Jackson's council votes and all this? It's like, stop wasting time. Like, stop wasting time in these episodes. Like, please get on with it. Like, there's no need for this. Like, maybe you feel differently, but
that was the interesting thing about season 1, right? Like, we had an entire episode with Nick Offerman and I can't remember the names, but like the tangents felt earned and essential. Like, that episode's like one of the greatest episodes of television ever.
Agreed.
To be honest, but it adds to the world building so well, and I dare say, like, it's actually essential to that season. Like, it's fundamental. Like, you get to appreciate the world so much more, and tell a really, really lovely side story in the process. And we take this for granted sometimes in games. With things like radio logs and letters and environmental storytelling that leads to side stories and accounts and the interior lives of others who we may not even necessarily meet, but like it all enriches that experience, and that's what I found with season 1. I don't feel like that happened quite as much in season 2, or as you say, it felt a little bit more inessential, or perhaps even a little bit forced. So, yeah.
Maybe we'll both eat our words when season 3 comes along. Perhaps
I hope
you're right.
so.
Perhaps
I'd love nothing more. Honestly, I'd love nothing more to be sat at the end of season 3 and go, "Yep, masterpiece."
Brilliant. Now I get it. Yeah.
But yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult. Speaking of ruining beloved things, Luke Scanlon has asked a really interesting question, actually. Has the battle royale genre ruined FPS games?
It's an interesting one. I agree. I mean, God, when Fortnite became like the most popular thing, never mind on Earth, it felt like in the universe. I speak to people who I knew weren't gamers that were playing Fortnite. Like it really was something that was like a phenomenon, really. Obviously, Warzone as well had a really, really like strong, committed user base. I wouldn't say that it's ruined or it's ruined FPS games or anything. I would say that it shifted like massively, and for me, maybe again through rose-tinted specs of like our experience of FPSs growing up, it's like it kind of makes me a little bit sad that maybe from the younger generation, those types of games will be their experience of like FPS games, like or like shooter games, then or anything like that. But on the flip side, if you'd have told us as kids that we'd be able to jump into a map with our friends online, like with a headset, and talk to your mates, like and like. So you look at it from both angles. I'm not going to touch upon the biggest point here because I know you want to talk about it, and I'm going to let you take it as to what you feel, because it's bang on.
So, well, I've developed another one as well. So my original response to this was going to be no. It's the abandonment of couch co-op. But shout out, do you know what? Shout out Borderlands for still flying the flag for that with Borderlands 4. But like, I have so many fond memories of like, I've got to be careful that I don't just rant just don't turn this podcast into a rant about how Microsoft have ruined Halo. But
too late.
But like I have such fond memories of playing those games, like doing legendary runs with mates in couch co-op. And then the launch of Infinite was one of the most diabolically busted things I think I've ever witnessed. To not launch with that it's just baffling, absolutely baffling. So the abandonment of couch co-op has made me personally very, 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 very sad. But beyond that, I actually think the same problem has befallen the FPS genre that's befallen a lot of other genres, which is that all games these days, and I'm touching on something that we may end up coming back to with one or two of the questions in a bit. All games need to be all things to all people. So like the bloated Ubisoftification of all games, like it's not enough to simply have an incredible single player campaign, which is so sad. And I think FPS as a genre suffers more here than anything else because you almost have to have that multiplayer element. I'm so worried. I mean, BioShock 4 at this point is mired in development hell. But I don't know how you create a game like that anymore. And I don't know how you create a campaign like I need to play Infinites. I need to play Halo Infinite's campaign. I'm told it's actually really, really good. So I need to caveat by saying that. But I miss, like, it's criminal to me that Battlefield hasn't done Bad Company 3. Where is Bad Company 3? Character driven, story driven, awesome like genre leading campaign with all of the awesome multiplayer stuff that you expect from a Battlefield game as well. But like I feel like we're losing some of that, and I feel like we're losing some of that needlessly. And you know, single player games do very, very, very well for us at TGC. I don't know whether that's collectors. You're a discerning audience, and you know what a quality game looks like. But like, you look at the release of single player top quality single player games, and they do sell. The myth that has been perpetuated by the likes of EA and Activision and Ubisoft that no, you can't have a focused experience. It has to be all things to all people. It's nonsense. No. So I miss, but that's not just an FPS issue. That's across the industry. That's across genres. But I'd love to see, like Peter mentioned singularity. I don't know that we see a singularity these days. There's a third-person shooter from Sega from the 360 era, Binary Domain, where it's got some really innovative, like, companion gameplay mechanics in there. And it's a weird and wonderful game. You're just blasting the limbs off of robots and cyborgs and so on. I don't think you'd see it. Like the death of double A, almost 2.5 A, I suppose, means that I don't think we see as many rich and varied and bold and risky single player games, particularly in the FPS genre, as we used to. So for me, that's a bigger. To be honest, actually, that they might be attached to Battle Royale. People chase what's popular. It saddens. It's sad. Sorry, my last point on this is the only thing I would say to this is it saddens me. Like, Apex is a hell of a game, but it is criminal that Respawn aren't also working on Titanfall 3. Given that Titanfall 2's campaign, actually, going back to that campaign question, it's one of the most is one of the best fun, one of the most fun campaigns I've experienced in recent years. It's so good, so good, and it didn't deserve to be sent out to die by EA.
Tell us what you really think, Matt.
All these opinions from Jack and me, they don't reflect the company.
No, but all seriousness, that's Matt's opinion, not ours.
Please give us your games, EA.
Please,
it's all right. Battlefield 6 is already in the warehouse.
I think to your point, though, you mentioned there, I think the key word you mentioned is risky. And I think because we're talking about, there was a second part, I know it was two people's questions. Was it Christopher Kelly was the second question?
We haven't even gotten onto those questions yet. I just morphed there from Luke's question about battle royales.
Ah, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, I thought that was. I thought we were already.
But we can go there because I think actually you're right. We've kind of gone into this because we had a couple of questions that we wanted to save for the end, which was so Jonathan Ballantyne came in with, my question is, what do you think about the current state of the games industry? And I've sort of just answered that, particularly AAA gaming. Has it lost its way over the years? And if yes, why? Will big games ever return to their former glory, or will it continue to decline? And yeah, Christopher Kelly came in with, should this be the last console generation? Do we still need to have lifelike graphics? AAA game budgets have ballooned massively, and now make or break a studio. We have seen too many dev jobs, and not just dev jobs, publisher jobs as well, lost in the last few years. So, yeah, we're really going to end this podcast on quite a depressing note.
I mean, with us both being on LinkedIn, you see obviously within this industry, you see it's there's been a lot of casualties over the last number of years, really, and it's sad to see the industry's getting smaller, and I think to the point on the current state of the industry, how far can that gap stretch? How between the cost of production? It used to be, we were speaking earlier about GTA being on, like, how many GTAs were on PS2? There was multiple games within a franchise on the same platform. These days, that gap between cost of production and the quality and the expectation just gets further and further and further and further stretched, to the point that obviously then jobs are lost, studios are going bust. Like, it's games are being released before they're 100% ready. It's sad, man. It's sad to see, and it's difficult for us as a retailer to manage, because first and foremost, obviously that's our job, but we are gamers ourselves, and so to kind of find the balance in there of fully understanding the frustration from consumers when games are not being launched to their fullest capacity for day one. Where does that end? Like, it's sad and it's worrying. I think long term it is deeply concerning, because to go off on a tangent slightly, there was I see sometimes a little bit of negativity around how many remakes we get these days. The bigger picture there for me is how many of those remakes, are almost not bread and butter. There's a lot of work that goes into them, but they're there to make money, to fund bigger projects, and they're really important because the industry has changed. Like, things are so expensive now. So much is demanded of so many people on a specific timeline. And things go wrong. We've seen it over the years. I mean, you also see how they pull it back. I mean, Cyberpunk 2077 is the perfect example to that. That probably should have been delayed to the point of launching on PS5 and Series X. Instead, CD Projekt Red pushed it through and got it done. But I mean, to what damage? It was a horrific launch for us as a retailer. And we've done so much. There was so much marketing and positivity around that title pre-launch. The guys had seen it over in E3. We'd seen it at Gamescom. It was looking, from what we'd seen, it was going to be absolutely huge. And how that flipped on its head in the space of or what felt like was just awful. And it was. So yeah, I think what I'm trying to say is that that gap can't continue to stretch. It's already at a breaking point, and we're seeing it sadly with many casualties within the industry. Good people, passionate people, because you have to be passionate in this industry. I think to be successful, or to be to kind of to grow and to progress, you have to be passionate about what you're working with. And it's really sad to see some people who are really dedicated to this industry and passionate lose their jobs because the ask is too big these days.
And I think the mechanics of sometimes the machinations of large corporations can be really difficult to unpack. And obviously we don't see everything that goes on behind closed doors. But you look at, I'm going to rag on them again. You look at a Microsoft, and you're looking at kind of all of the money they're making, having put all of their games on PlayStation all of a sudden. And then they go and fire 10,000 people, and you're like, what is happening? You've got CEOs and leaders in the industry bragging to their shareholders about how much money and profit they're making year on year, and they're releasing thousands and thousands of people who've got them to that point, and you're just you can never know what's going on behind closed doors in the upper echelons of these of these companies, but it boggles the mind, and it makes you wonder that there must be a better way. There must be a better way. We back when we did the proto podcast test for the TGC podcast, we had a conversation around game pricing, and because this is the other thing, right? Like, development costs have spiraled. The price of a game hasn't risen as much at a commensurate rate, right? So games, while they are slightly more expensive than they were back in the 90s, not that much, right?
No.
Like, you can take an Argos catalog from 1997, and you can open to look at the N64s and
N64 pricing,
right? Yeah. It's just like
insane.
This is the same. It's the same picture, but like, and that's insane. But of course, like, you know, if you just tracked inflation, games would be upwards of 120, 130 quid. You can't do that because everyone's mired in a cost of living crisis. That legitimately sounds insane to pay 130, and you might pay 130 quid for a Battlefield, for example, for a deluxe edition, you know, and battle passes and microtransactions over time. I've absolutely dropped well over £100, you know, back in the years when I was kind of really into FIFA, and the microtransactions were hitting hard.
Dangerous game.
It's probably dangerous, right? But like, I think you know, you can't charge people 130 quid for a game. It wouldn't really work, and you wouldn't sell any games. So yeah, I think we're between a rock and a hard place to a certain extent with the industry, and it's sad because there are more ways, in essence, to get, not just in games. If you're a creator, if you're an artist, if you're invested in creating things, there are more ways to try and find an audience. There are more ways to build a platform than ever before. The competition is greater than ever before, and people are crying out for help more than ever before. So all of these things can be true at the same time. We see it with Curveball Games, with our publishing wing. The number of devs and studios out there in need of assistance, but there's the push-pull between risk and reward it affects absolutely everyone. Devs are looking for money up front to secure their funding through a long dev cycle. Publishers want to see returns as swiftly as they possibly can because they're putting money in. Rock and hard place.
Yeah, for sure. And I think you mentioned there, you know, maybe if there had been like a more steady increase on pricing over the years, then perhaps it would be like, I don't know, maybe be less of a talking point. But I you know, again, it's game pricing has largely stayed the same through many changes. And yeah, I think to just hike it like that now, you know, you just wouldn't sell games. We wouldn't be in business. Like we would, you know, it's because people can't afford, like, you know, I wouldn't be able to afford to spend that on. You know, all of a sudden, you're then looking at maybe buying, I don't know, maybe like 3 games a year, perhaps, or something, maybe even less. You know, maybe the odd one, a few more, depending on your situation. But it's like then all of a sudden it becomes that gap stretches even further. Then that word risky that we talked about came in, and then that really is the death of riskier titles being pushed out because there is no risk allowed anymore. It's either you get this right or you are done. And which, don't get me wrong, is kind of almost where we're at these days.
We're pretty close, right?
Yeah, but I think again the way it's done, it's anti-creative, isn't it? It's to this point now where it's like, yeah, we want to go bigger, you want to go better. You know, it's the biggest and the best thing ever, and it's like, okay, fantastic, but at what cost? And I don't just mean financially, I mean at what cost to the situation. Yeah, it's something that I think as a physical retailer, we will always champion physical media. It's something that we feel genuinely very passionate about. I'm sure that you already know that if you're listening. But it's something that really does make us tick, and we will continue to push it for as long as we possibly can. Physical media forever.
Physical media forever, baby.
Absolutely. But
I was trying to say, like, just to hopefully to maybe send up a beacon of hope in these dark times. What has been quite a dark descent towards the end of this podcast. My hope is that, like, look at a game, look at a studio like Soundfall, who, yes, tiny in the grand scheme of things studio, they outsourced a lot, which is great. It's great for the industry as well, because there are hundreds, if not thousands, of service-based operations out there. Like, sometimes you need to do XDev, and those folks are a really, really valuable part of the industry as well. And they've been hit hard, like super hard, by budgets constricting. But you take a look at Soundfall and you take a look at Clair Obscur and you go, yeah, that's on paper French Belle Epoque, turn of the century, turn-based RPG, brand new IP. I can't see EA greenlighting that. I can't see Activision greenlighting that.
No.
Barely Sony on their best day might. But, like, I think there's the hope, is that actually, I mean, it helps it's a 90 plus Metacritic game. Not every game is not every game is going to be a 90 plus Metacritic game. But, like, don't write off these incredibly creative, amazing experiences. Like, empower those teams, empower them to reach for that 90 plus Metacritic game. Like, empower them to do the best work they possibly can, because if it's built with passion, and if it's built with love, and if it's, that, and the team knows what they're doing, right, it will translate, and it will find an audience, and people will fall in love with it. And I think, there are more people gaming than ever before, and that's a really hopeful thing. Are the kids all playing Roblox and Fortnite? Yeah.
Pretty much.
So is that audience aging? Perhaps. But that audience will also want something else eventually after that. So we have to keep it alive to make sure that there's something there too. So I think, I hope we can take solace from a success story like Clair Obscur. Which, look, again, there's no silver bullet to any of this. All you can ever do is put a game in the best possible position and hope that it succeeds.
Yeah.
And the first way to do it, and Larian have said this as well in the wake of Baldur's Gate, is just make a really good game, which is much easier said than done. But
that's where everybody's going wrong, man. Like, you just make really good games and everything will be fine.
Just make really good games, guys.
I think, the bottom line is just be better. Like, be better, right? And everything will work. Everything will come out in the wash. Lovely.
But yeah, I think, hiring people that know what good looks like at the top of an organization, not just suits that understand the money, but know what good looks like from a development perspective, and know what great DNA underpins a good game. Again, you can never know for certain. But I think that goes a long way. And then, give your creatives room, which, But I like we've said it, like, these are crunchy times, not just for devs and publishers, for everyone. That's why you can't overprice games, because no one has enough money in their pockets. We could get into an entire screed about global economics and, like, freaking recessions and cost of living crisis and all that sort of stuff. But I don't really want to do that. I just like champion great games, buy the games that you love, support creators and entities that you vibe with. And I said it in a video today, talking about why do people buy physical media, and just thank you to everyone that still does. Honestly, like, we literally wouldn't be here without you. And long may it continue for as long as it possibly can. Because we know there's an audience. We speak to you guys every single day.
Every day.
So yeah, I still have hope, and I think this year's been been a good year in some cases for rekindling some of that hope, and Claire Obscure has done a lot of that for a lot of people. Uh, but yeah, just, just make good
It's
games,
been
guys.
to finish on a positive note, as we say. Like, I mean, it's actually been a really, really strong year for releases. It's surprising. It felt like it could be a quiet year again. And I don't know. It's just I was obviously looking at that Game of the Year question we put up yesterday. Lots of people were talking about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I didn't give that a mention. You know, that had
Fantastic
numerous
game.
responses. Exactly. Hades 2, Silksong. There's loads of stuff there you can shout about. It's been an incredible year,
We
and there's
got
still
we got
obviously
we
a
got an
few.
8 out of 10 Dynasty Warriors game in 2025. That's insane.
You're all spoiled.
But like, just going back to your point about remakes, I think, you know, if we have to go through a Silent Hill 2 to get a Silent Hill F. Oh, surprise, surprise! They're both like incredible games.
There it is. I mean, I know I'm very heavily into Silent Hill right now, but yeah, like again, I've not played F yet, but overwhelmingly positive reviews from the community and online. Looks fantastic and horrible. Everything that Silent Hill should be. The future, in spite of us making it sound really bleak, the future is bright. You know, there is hope, as you said, and there's a lot of great stuff to be talking about in this industry. And let's end it on a positive. You know, there's been some incredible games this year. We got to do Gamescom again. You know, it's some really exciting stuff to come through the end of this year and beyond into 2026. We've got a lot of stuff planned. Whether some of that will materialize or not, we don't know. But you know, it's not doom and gloom here. Like the Game Collection, we are fully committed to delivering still on all of our promises, on still to become the biggest and best retailer in the UK. We kind of feel like we already are, but I mean, hey, you've got to puff your chest out. You know, you've got to believe in yourself. We're punching well above our weight, it seems, but we're holding our own, and the community grows every single day, and we are grateful for all of you. I speak to people, you know, I know I say it all the time, but I speak to people day in, day out, and we're just talking about games, man. Like, it's just, you know, you buy from us or not, like, great if you do. Of course, it's the purpose. We have to remember that is why we are here. But ultimately, the goal here is for you and I, Matt, to build community, to have a place
100%.
people can just come and tell us what you're playing right now. Tell us what you think about these games. You don't like it, that's fine. Tell us about it. Like, we're here to have conversation, and opinions are welcome. You know, I had a conversation with somebody in Instagram DMs this week, and it was just like, you know, it's become it seems unacceptable to have an opinion these days. You either agree or it gets turned up to 100 real quick, and it's like, we want to change that, at least with our community. It's like, if you didn't like the game, that is completely fine. Like, cool, tell us why, talk about it. It hasn't got to be, if somebody else plays a game that you don't like, you know, that's no shade on them, or there's no shade on enjoying different genres, or if you like gaming, you're in.
Yeah, whatever you're playing, wherever you're playing it, come have a chat. Like, if you've got love for
Epic.
games, we got love for you. And yeah, like we will always champion physical media, but like it was interesting. We had obviously put out a little video just showing the Battlefield 6 stock arriving, and we had a few people in the comments ask, yeah, why, like almost facetiously, right? Like, people are still buying discs, which. And I made a little video off the back of it, and I said, do you know what? In 2025, that's a fair question to ask. And then invited a bunch of, well, hopefully invited anyone watching the video to come, comment, tell us why. Tell us why you love physical media, so we can do that kind of education job. So, you know, taking comments in good faith and saying, cool, let's have a conversation about it. And to my absolute delight, and I wasn't surprised, but to my absolute delight, those people did and shared and said, I love physical media because XYZ. And it's just beautiful. And the dude came back as well and was just like, oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for the answer. And it just became this really nice thing. I'll check it again probably in an hour, and it'll probably have, someone will have started a flame war or something, and I'll have to go put it out. But I think that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to create space for conversation in good faith, and trying to create, you know, space for conversation around games that is very celebratory and is very inclusive. And we just love games, man.
They're pretty good, aren't they?
We just love video games. Video games are the best.
They're all right, I think. You know, games all right. Like gaming's all right.
Hey, you are
games.
Right.
Yeah, I quite like gaming.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So yeah, that's been episode 6 of the Game Collection. Are we on episode 6 already of the Game Collection podcast?
I don't know.
Thank you so much if you made it this far for listening. Thank you to everyone that sent in questions, and thank you to everyone that just likes, comments, shares, buys. As always, we are nothing without you guys. Please tell your friends about this show. If you're listening to this on YouTube, drop us a like, drop us a sub. If you're listening to this on Spotify, please drop us a review.
Yes,
we'd love to hear your feedback. And yeah, pop a comment in. Tell us what your favorite FPS games are. Tell us what your favorite FPS weapons and levels and characters and so on are. We would love to hear from you. And yeah, for all of your physical gaming needs, check out the Game Collection.
There it is. My favorite. I love that line, man. I love it.
I'm gonna have to put it on a t-shirt at some point.
Just smack my hand on the desk, getting all excited. Like, yes!
For all of your physical gaming needs.
There it is.
He said the line!
He said the line!
Oh dear.
Even my chair, look how creepy my chair is, man. Even my chair is happy. Like, this thing needs some WD-40. Jesus.
Suppose mine actually, yeah.
Yeah. It's not good.
on that note, let's bugger off and play some games.
Please do, yes. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Catch you on the next one.
Catch you next week.
Bye.